morning. It's Wednesday the 26th of November. Still, well, it's 9:25. I've been up since before 7 o'clock. I'm going into hospital in the afternoon to get a gastroscopy. Now, a gastroscopy is a tube with a camera. It goes down your throat, looks at your stomach and your throat, of course, just to investigate anything that's been giving me problems. And the most problem has been pain at my rib cage on the right hand side. I've had it for months. It really only hurts when I lie down, but it can hurt if maybe I stood up just now to go away into the kitchen or whatever. So this is what they're investigating. Also because I became anemic, I've had nausea, things like that. I've still got this cough. Not as bad as it was, but it's more like a kind of tickly, irritable cough now. Usually starts if I start talking, but so far it hasn't. So the pre-assessment which I had done last week, she said it would be fine as long as I didn't have a high temperature, but I will be saying to them today, because I wouldn't like that tube to go down or start going down and I go into a fit of coughing. I'm getting heavy sedation. It's not an anaesthetic, so I won't be knocked out. I will be able to wake up. Maybe if I feel the tube going down, I've seen it done and I don't like it. Anytime I have had it done twice, I have been anaesthetised. So I was totally out of it, knew nothing, didn't know what was going on, but I will be aware of it today and I'm really not looking forward to it. I was really quite tearful and worried yesterday thinking about cancelling it, and even this morning I'm still thinking about just not turning up. I might just not phone them and speak to them, or else when Tam drives me over to the hospital, discuss this with them. They might cancel it themselves, maybe it is. It's just I've heard so much about people, and this isn't just looking at videos on YouTube or whatever, it has actually happened to people that I know of. Okay, some of them were actually keyhole surgery and investigative surgery. This is an investigative procedure I'm getting, but if they need to take biopsies, they will, which means you're taking a bit of tissue from whatever in my stomach. Or there is another reason I'm so frightened. Again, this was keyhole surgery and it involved one of my sisters. And that'll be a story for another day. One of my podcasts, I'll maybe discuss that, and then you'll maybe realise why I'm so frightened. Even though I'm a retired staff nurse and I've seen it all, I think that maybe does more harm than good, because I know what can happen, I know what the procedure is, I've seen patients going through it, not tolerating it, but they never used to give them a heavy sedation in the days. It was a throat spray which would numb, but they were still retching and pulling at the tube. But I think it's all different now. It's been years since I've had one, and as I say, that was under a general anaesthetic. Coughing's going to start, so no, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm inviting you to come with me to the hospital. So, I'll see you soon. Way to the hospital. It's 25 minutes to 1. I have to be there for 1:15. It's raining. You can hear the window wipers, they're a bit squeaky. Anyway, I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday and this morning. I'll go over it. Hopefully I'm first on the list to get it done. I really do hope I am, and because it's not a local hospital, it's one further away that I'm going to, and it's about, depending on the traffic, 20-25 minutes, but probably by the time, if I'm not first on the list, if I'm later on, maybe last on the list, I might be the only one on the list, I don't know, Tam's got to drive back, and I'd rather he came back with me before it went dark, but we'll see. It's such a dull rainy day. It'll be dark earlier, you see, but go and get it done. Hopefully everything will be okay. This pain might just be rib pain to do with the fibromyalgia, my arthritis, it could be anything. So we'll go over and get this. Hopefully I'll tolerate it all right, and I'll see you once we're at the hospital. As usual, there's no car park spaces. Well, this is a day surgery. I'm sure if we went to another one, maybe we'd get a space, but there's no point. I mean, it's 5 to 1 just now. Tam would be as well just driving back home, and because I need to drive back when I'm finished in here. So no spaces whatsoever, so I'm as well just going in. I'll maybe wait till 1 and then just you get away. My stomach's all etching. Do you like it? He's a wee to speak to the consultant. He was just taking a lot of details, so I don't even know if he has a nurse or what he is. But this cough's really annoying. I thought he was coming back, he hasn't. Right, so I'm all geared up with my gown on. I've still got my boots and my trousers on and my bra. I just had to take my jumper off, that's all, because it's just a scope. Tam's actually outside waiting on me because they said it would take in all an hour and a half. Surprise to me. I'm actually on my way back home. Tam waited on me and I'm awful glad he did because the procedure was cancelled. Why was it cancelled? Because of the cough I've got. Also, I'd had it. Now, I was told, I'll tell you all about it when I get home. I'm starving. I want to go home and get a nice cup of tea. Yeah, it was mainly the cough, just in case he was putting the tube down and I started chewing. I knew all this. Well, I knew. Now Thursday afternoon, about 10 past 4 it is. It's been a dull rainy day, very rainy, quite a bit of a breeze as well. Good afternoon, it is now Friday. That was the weather yesterday, it's just the same today. It's very blowy out and it's raining on and off. So yeah, my procedure for the gastroscopy, the camera, the tube with the camera that goes down your throat, looks at your stomach, part of your bowel as well, small intestine. Excuse me for the coughing. I'll try my best not to. I never got it. I didn't get the procedure done because I still had this cough. Now, a week ago, just over a week ago, a week before I was getting this procedure, pre-assessment, which is pre-surgical assessment, the phone, to make sure you're fit enough to come in for your procedure. Now, I wasn't getting a full general anaesthetic, it was just sedation, so I'd be sleepy, I'd get throat spray just to numb it so I don't get too anxious feeling the tube going down my throat. So she didn't do a full pre-assessment. I worked in a pre-assessment unit when I was still nursing, and we asked all these questions because we needed to make sure that the patient was fit enough to come in for whatever major surgery, minor surgery, surgery just done under sedation, just to make sure that they were fit enough. And if we weren't sure, there was something, red flags showing up, we would speak to the anaesthetist about it, or the consultant that was going to be doing the procedure or the surgery. So I was surprised last week when pre-assessment phoned. I knew they were phoning, but I was surprised when she only asked, are you allergic to anything? What medication are you on? And I knew what I was going in for and what date it was, what time. But that was it. And I did tell her, I says, I'm just getting over a cold. I've still got a terrible cough. Will that be all right? It's still, you know, if I still have it next week for the procedure. She says, yeah, she says, as long as you don't have a temperature, a high temperature. I said, right, that's fine. I says, well, really, I thought I shouldn't be getting the procedure done because of the cough. But when she said, as long as you've not got a high temperature, he would do it because it is sedation. But then I'm thinking, what if that tube, if the cough's still here next week, what if that tube causes me to have a coughing fit? It could be dangerous, it could be. Sorry. Now, I think that's what's making me so anxious leading up to it. And anyway, went in, as you saw in the previous clips, and all through, this was another pre-assessment. Now, he asked me the questions that I would have asked when I was a pre-assessment nurse. But the actual pre-assessment nurse on the phone last week didn't ask these questions. I sat for 40 minutes with this guy. He might have been a trainee nurse, I don't know, but he certainly was not a trained nurse. And he was asking me all the questions that you usually get at a pre-assessment. And then I told him about the cough, plus I was coughing throughout this assessment. So he had to go quite a few times and speak to a nurse, and came back. She says, so you've got a cough and it's got worse. Now, I didn't say that to this guy that was doing the assessment. I said it was worse, it's getting better, but I still am coughing. She said, oh, she says, that'll be fine. But anyway, just to get on with the story, it ended up that I'd had a sip of water. Now, also, I was told by the pre-assessment nurse last week on the phone to have something like tea and toast before 7 in the morning of my procedure. I did that. After that, sips of water. So because I've got this cough, because my throat gets dry and it makes me cough more, I did have sips of water. I had a sip of water before we left the house to drive over to the hospital, and I told this trainee nurse this, and that's when he got up and went away and spoke to the consultant about telling him I'm coughing all the way through the assessment, and I'd also had a sip of water about an hour before. So that was it. He says, no, there's too many red flags showing up here, cancelling. I didn't speak to the consultant, didn't speak to him. I've never met him yet. I spoke to him on the phone a few weeks ago, and he was getting me in for this procedure. Anyway, that's what happened. I got cancelled, and the same nurse that came in and said, oh, that'll be fine. You know, when I said, well, it's getting better, it's just a cough. Oh, she says, that'll be fine. She was the one that came in to tell me, she says, well, we don't want you choking when he puts the scope down if you start coughing. Well, I already knew that. But I just thought for some reason they were going to be okay with it because the pre-assessment nurse said they would be okay with it. So that was the reason for pre-assessments as well, are to prevent procedures and surgery being cancelled. You know, that any red flags show up at pre-assessment, they can get that dealt with, and they're not turning up on the day, wasting a slot that another patient could have had. But it didn't work out that way. So it was a bit of a farce, I thought. Being phoned by a pre-assessment nurse the week before the procedure and only getting asked 3 or 4 questions, whereas when you go for pre-assessment for major surgery, minor surgery, if it's a general anaesthetic, I'm talking about, I can't even remember, 15 more than questions. They just ask you everything to make sure you're all right. So it was cancelled anyway. Luckily, Tam had came back because the receptionist had told me it was only going to be an hour and a half, which was the wrong information as well, because I would have been in there a lot longer and Tam would have been left waiting. Anyway, it was back. It was as if I was meant to come back, Tam. I'm not going to be that long. So he was there anyway. When I walked out, he thought to himself, she looks all right for having had a procedure under sedation. I said, it's been cancelled. So they said they would reappoint it, but to be honest with you, I don't think I need a gastroscopy. I need a CT scan to have a look at my lungs, my back. Even though the GP where I was 11 days ago said my chest was clear, my throat looked okay, there's something not okay, because I've still got this cough, and I had the same cough a few months ago and it lasted for 4 weeks and then it eased up. It's came back now. Yeah, maybe I have had a bit of a cold too. I did feel unwell a few weeks ago, or a week ago, I can't remember. But I've still got this hoarseness and this cough. And this morning I couldn't even speak to my daughter over the telephone for coughing. And then I get breathless. And then the same happened when my son came in, and they're just about, when I started this clip, I had to stop it to go and cough. So yeah, it's not good, but I'm not going to keep moaning and moaning on. It's just to let you know how I got on going for the gastroscopy, what the outcome was, and it wasn't a good outcome. So when you're watching this video, it will be Sunday, the 30th of November, and Monday the next day, of course, will be the 1st of December, and that's when Vlogmas starts. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the Vlogmas videos daily. I'll try, but there might be days if I really, whatever's going on here, if it makes me a bit worse for the wear, I might not get to do it, but I will do my very best. But right now, I'm waiting the GP phoning me actually. They do triage at my doctor's surgery, and they don't give you a GP's appointment. You get an appointment for the doctor to phone you at some point in the day, and she'll decide, or he'll decide, if they need to see you again. I've still got this, and I had a procedure cancelled because of it, and I think that could have been prevented if the pre-assessment had been done properly. But anyway, I'm going to love yous and leave yous, and I'm going to go and get a drink of this water, wait till the doctor phones, and I'll keep yous updated on what's going on, if I'm going to get the gastroscopy or not, or am I going to go straight for a CT scan? I'll probably need to wait. It might be after Christmas now, but it's horrible. It really is. So I'll see you later. I hope you have a nice, or had a nice weekend. And I will see you on Vlogmas. Yeah, I'll see you in Vlogmas. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Bye.